Perfect. So, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me back on.
Right. It is really, really, really cool. As we were talking before, that you were, I think, the second one. Yeah, you were the second one. Yeah.
I think it was pretty early on, right around the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was super early on, super early on, back when I was, just recently started with this idea. So, and it's so interesting how has that evolved, like from my previous designs and like how things I managed until now. I mean, there's huge improvement. And the other day I was watching some of the old videos, like the really old ones, and I was like, yeah, a lot of things have changed, so that's cool.
Yeah, you've really grown and developed, and the content is fantastic. So I'm happy to be here again and to be able to watch your journey. Congratulations.
Thank you. So, so again, welcome back. As I mentioned, it is super amazing and awesome to have you back here. Before we start, I have to give you a proper intro. Welcome, basically. If you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, that's cool, because then I can surprise you. So, give me 1 second so I can show you. Also, before we start, I'm noticing here that we have here Celeste. Now, I have an episode previously with Celeste, so those who are watching, after watching this, you can watch this episode. Go follow her. She's awesome. She rocks. There you go. She's amazing. But then let me just give you an epic intro. So, there you go. Yeah. This has become kind of the signature of this thing,
That was great.
But anyway, starting with everything, tell me, what's new since our last interview, which was like 9 months ago?
About 9 months ago, yeah. So a lot has happened, actually. First being that I graduated with my master's in clinical mental health counseling, because I know I was towards the end of the program when we spoke, but not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I published 2 more books through the Berry Patch, which I know we'll probably talk a little bit more about today, but A Pal for Buddy and Monster Cookbook. And I was on the first ever series called the Collab series with celebrity chef Kristen Kish for the writing, so that was really exciting. And oh my goodness, what else? I started a new business for my holistic healing practices. And I finished up with my biofeedback certification, and I launched a gaming application for children. I know we talked a little bit about that before. And I finished with my expressive arts therapy coursework. So lots and lots has gone on.
I love it. And you know what? Because of that, you deserve this. I mean, I would be popping a bottle of champagne if I was there, but one day. I promise one day.
It's a metaphorical bottle. It's been popped.
Yeah, exactly. One day, I promise that we will make like these huge festivals. So yeah. And so let's talk about the healing arts. Tell me where the idea to create that came from.
So I finished with my, as I said, master's in clinical mental health counseling, but post-graduation, I'm required to do 2 years of supervision before I can become licensed. And here in the state of Florida, you are allowed to start a private practice while you are under supervision. So I said, why not? I'm about a year in now with a year or so left to go. So the healing arts is a space that provides holistic services of various things that I am certified in or working towards for individuals, for children, for groups, for families, couples, really anyone that needs assistance in those areas of service.
Okay. And so basically, if you go to the website, which the website will be in the description below, so on the website it says that it offers a journey of mind, body, and spirit. But can you explain me like a little bit how like the whole session works?
Sure. So there is a 90-minute session where I do sound bathing, Reiki, or energy healing and meditation. Okay. And then there are 60-minute sessions available for biofeedback, heart math therapy, as well as clinical mental health counseling, therapeutic expressive arts, exercises, as well as life coaching. Okay. Else that I offer. So essentially the idea behind this is that we want our mind-body connection to be reestablished, right? We get so disconnected these days, and so each of those services allows an individual to work with their shadow self, to be able to overcome past traumas, to be able to focus on their future goals and motivations, or to just get an energetic cleanse or to reconnect with their bodies so that they can live optimally and thrive.
Wow. Okay. And like, what are some of the benefits that someone might have after taking, like multiple sessions here and there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one obviously I think that most people are familiar with, right, is counseling or therapy. So someone who's been through something very traumatic or is going through a major life transition might take from that a new perspective, the ability to heal, the ability to make amends with family and friends, whatever the case might be, is to grow through that concern or that shadow self to come out on the other side. Benefits of heart math therapy. This is, to my knowledge, a little bit more new and upcoming when it comes to technology. And the idea there is to create coherence with the heart rate and with the breathing, because when we're in a coherent state, we're able to feel better emotions and live in a more optimal state of mind so that we can succeed, essentially, right? So to teach people to be able to control the thoughts in order to control the body, and remind them that they have that ability, right, to move forward with life. Life coaching, again, life transitions, someone who's starting a new career or who just feels really stuck and wants to know how to get out there and live their life purpose. Really good with motivating and encouraging in that sense. So that's what that one's utilized for. The energy healing, sound bathing, and meditation sessions are great for anxiety, worry, depression, chronic pain, and basically the goal there is to alleviate that and to allow the person to feel a sense of peace.
Okay. That is really cool. And I think it is very interesting how, like, especially this past few years, how a lot of attention has gone finally to, kind of to, like this type of problems or this type of issues that someone might have. Kind of, if you get stuck in something in life, or you just can't overcome a situation in the past, like all of those stuff. The fact that now we start to see like more. I mean, you included the fact that you want to get yourself involved into that and kind of help people through that. That is really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And you make a great point that everything that the world's been through over the past few years, mental health and wellness has come into the forefront of people's minds, their awareness. And for those people who do have a harder time expressing their emotions or who don't want to go to those darker places, that's what I love about the expressive arts, because that allows someone to sit there and finger paint or utilize clay or dance and move or write, whatever have you, and be able to really tap into their subconscious and pull forth their healing. And I think that's a really big point to remind clients and individuals that you have the power to heal yourself. You just have to be able to that subconscious space.
Totally. And like, what's the goal that you try to achieve with the healing arts?
The goal of the healing arts is essentially to be able to offer these services to individuals within the community. The life coaching I can do outside of the state of Florida. And eventually I'd like to be able to incorporate things like workshops, right, and groups and gather people together for this kind of communal sense of healing. Okay,
I love it. Now, moving on here, let's talk about the berry patch. Tell me, like, also, like, where the idea to create that came from.
Yeah, so the idea for the berry patch came along, oh goodness, I want to say 2018 now. But I started, I think we talked about it last time, I wrote my first children's book when I was about 15 in the parking lot of All Children's Hospital, because I was being fit for that scoliosis brace, and I was feeling a lot of anxiety over that, and writing was a way for me to alleviate my anxiety or my worry and my stress. And my grandmother gave me the opportunity to self-publish that, and I've always known I wanted to be a writer. That's actually going to be my second master's, will be creative literature. And so I wanted to transform that dream into a reality sooner, yes? So I created the Berry Patch as a way to be able to self-publish all of my current children's books and hopefully works in the future.
I love that. So you're basically doing everything. I mean,
but also I'm doing the things that make me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't be surprised if at some point you you want to be present or something like that. We're like, yeah, okay, that was pretty obvious. That was gonna happen sometime. So
that's too funny. I wouldn't mind being like an assistant to the president, but that's an awfully big job.
Yeah. But like really, we could have finished this interview saying she's doing everything. So that's it. I love it. And like, what would you say that are some of the benefits of reading when you were on a young age? We're still young, we're still young, but
yeah. So I was raised in impoverished settings, and so I think reading for me was an escape from the trauma and concerns of my life when I was younger, and writing became a therapeutic outlet as well. So reading is not imagination and initially allowed for an escape, whereas now as an adult it provides all of that, but additionally it's wisdom and it's knowledge and it's self-expansion. But I want to say actually more of a catalyst for me was the writing, because that was the space to uncover my purpose and my passion.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it very interesting because, for example, back when I was a kid, I remember that I will have the Nintendo 64 and everything, but my parents always told me that you read first and then you will go gaming after. Not like basically, you know what I mean. And I find it very interesting the fact that like, for example, on my case, they managed to kind of 50-50 that, and it does have its benefit, for example, like in imagination and stuff like that, because I remember back when I was a kid, if I was reading a book, of course that at some point it was basically, just fantasy one, stuff like that, but I found it very interesting now that I remember that I was basically kind of like basing of characters of video games that I was playing, I was putting in on those books, so I was having like this whole world that I was creating. So I found it very interesting, and I do believe that I think especially now that it's super rare when you see a kid actually having a book on their hand. You will see them either with a smartphone or iPad, tablet, whatever, and the fact that it's just so interesting that
it is. And then I love what you said in bringing in the video games and the books. And two, when we think about this foundation that we build as youth, if you look at your values and your beliefs now as an adult, a lot of that ties back into people that you admired in the stories or the heroes in your video games.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do believe that you get raised. I think back when I was in school, a teacher told me that your whole growing up process goes like 90%, probably 90% at home and just 10% at school.
I believe it. Yeah, because you're having a bit more of a wisdom experience at home, right?
Yeah. Interesting. Now, some of the books that you publish there are either educational, inspirational, motivational, uplifting, and charitable. But tell me, like, for you, like, what are some of your personal favorites?
The books that I've written, or just in general that other people have written?
Let's go for both.
Okay. Well, I'll go with the latter first. So books that I really enjoyed growing up, obviously Peter Pan. J.M. Barrie wrote that, big inspiration for me, this idea of staying youthful and creative and inspiring others to do the same. There's something that adults can miss out on if we lose that playfulness. Obviously Harry Potter, right? J.K. Rowling, and then Juliet Mariller has just a plethora of series, and I have all of her books and I love her to death. And she does historical fiction, really incorporating that romance and war and magic, right? And all of these things we kind of crave in our lives, I think. And as far as my books go, I want to say that right now, because it does change, my favorite is going to be A Pal for Buddy, because that one actually features my husband, and that's based through stories. So there was something really gooey, right, about that book and writing that and having that experience. I say gooey in a good way, right? All the warm feelings, and I liked bringing reality and mixing it with that magic.
Okay.
Second place is going to be The Tree of Dreams, because that is basically my child self came forth from my adult self and wrote that book, hoping to inspire kids in the way my grandmother inspired me.
Okay, all right. Now, let's talk about a home for art. Tell me, tell me more about the vision and mission you have there.
Yes. So I founded a home for art in 2019 in February, and the original goal and mission was to bring expressive arts to children in impoverished settings, whether that means hospitals or foster homes, homeless shelters, sex trafficking centers, what have you. And it's shifted a little bit since then. So now I want to be able to incorporate free counseling sessions and expressive art sessions to children within the community. But the foundation of it is still built on being able to eventually on a global level bring expressive arts to children who are in need so they can process and work through their griefs and their traumas.
I love that. I love that. And yes, we should make it worldwide, because I do believe that we need that. You know, I do believe, I do also think that one of the things that we constantly forget is that we forget that we didn't choose where we're born. You know, we didn't choose our parents. We didn't choose lifestyle. Well, like, I mean, when we were born, and that's it. So the fact that if you can at least bring something, you know, like something positive or help those kids who are in need, that is really amazing. Because I do think that especially kids, you know, they don't have the blame if their parents don't want to work and they just want to get drunk, you know, or they, for example, here where I live, it's common, and that's sad, you know, the fact that you see it common, you know, you will see kids trying to selling you stuff, or you will see kids trying to make a living, you know, which is so ridiculous. About how would you say a kid would be making a living? I mean, it's a kid, you know, but the fact that if you can like put some positivity on that and actually kind of make them get out of it so they can actually be kids, that is really amazing. And yeah, I do believe that we really need to make this worldwide for sure. Yeah, I love it. And I wonder,
it's manifesting to go forward with that. And you mentioned you know, children not really having a choice when it comes to what they're born into. But I think it's important to remind them that they do have a choice moving forward of what they'd like to become. And that's part of the mission. And Ive Shadow is inspired by the future, because I want children to come in and remember that no matter where they came from, they have dreams and they have choices, have people who will support them, and that they can accomplish those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Yeah. Plus, they're gonna be the ones who are gonna take things over, you know, when we get old, that's gonna be in a very long time. Just saying, very long time. Yeah, you know. I mean, I'm still young. You know, I'm still feeling young. But anyway, but yeah, and I wonder, where your inspiration to create so many things comes from. You know, as I was making the whole material here, right, and I was doing a research here and there. I mean, I basically noticed that you are doing so many things here, so many things. But what got my attention is the fact that there are so many things, but they're trying to cover the same thing. You know, it's like you are looking at it for different angles, but it's basically on the same goal. So tell me, where that inspiration comes from.
I think it all really unfolded. So if I want to make to make the story a bit more compact, right? Born into that impoverished setting, grandparents took me in and said, "What would you like to do with your life?" And so I was able to try out professional singing and acting and dance and voiceover work, teaching and public speaking and all of these things without really knowing where I was going at that time, right? I was just trying different avenues and thinking, oh, this will be the one, right? But nothing quite fit at that point. And so I think when I discovered that I could utilize all of those artistic expressions into a therapeutic method, and another thing that I'm passionate about is connecting with people, that just developed naturally into the career. And I look at it as everything that I've done previously, right, accumulated to help me into what I know. Same thing with the writing. I've known since I was very, very young that was my soul's mission and purpose. We can have, but that's the core for me, I believe. And so that is something that I don't have to do, that I know I'm going to do. And I'm a big proponent of don't wait for someone to bring it to you, bring it to yourself. So starting my own publishing company, self-publishing, figuring out how that works, and just believing in myself and knowing that I'm capable of those things. And when I was doing my master's in clinical mental health counseling, I watched a documentary called Poor Kids, and instantly knew that I wanted to start a foundation, the nonprofit, where I could really help kids who came from a similar position that I was in when I was younger, and again be able to connect, and again be able to utilize those creative modalities. So, you know, I guess in summarizing that, everything that I did in my past when I thought I was lost was actually accumulating to help me become exactly who I've always wanted to be and exceeded my expectations.
That's amazing. That is so cool. So basically, starting from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it. And if you could describe your career at the moment on a movie, TV show, book, or even a play, why not? What would be the title of it?
It's funny that you ask that, because I have a plan to write a book, which I'm totally fine if it becomes a movie or a TV series. But I wanted to call it Try Everything, Be Anything.
I like that. Yeah, let's make it into a movie. Yes. I actually know someone who has a production company. I'm gonna definitely tell them to do that. I mean, if they're watching this, it's Sam's Skate Production. If you're watching this right now, we have a title here for a cool movie.
I'm ready.
We got this. I love
There's
it.
series, right? I would love to host a series where I show people that they are capable of doing anything, and going into those communities and working with those youth and giving them like the gift of these experiences. There's so many ways that could go, but I want to draw from my experiences and my wisdom and my ability to do other sorts of inspiration to the world. So I'm ready if they are.
I love it. And tell me, if you could describe your career again, but now on a drink, which one would you choose?
A drink? Okay, if I could describe my career as a drink, then I would say water, because you can change water into anything. You can add flavor, or fizzies, or sugar, or lemons, and you can make of it whatever you want, because the foundation is so pure, and because it is the main and sustaining, and I want my life to be a source of healing and sustenance for myself.
That is amazing. I love that. Such a healthy answer. I like that. I like that. And like my last question here, you know, like what motivates you? You know, we all have those days, right? In which we just feel like crap. We don't want to continue doing anymore. We think whatever we're doing is not good enough. Right. We don't see the results we would wish to have. We will start to compare. You know, like I do believe that getting into this whole toxic environment, it's super easy. You know, but getting out is super hard. So on your case, what gets you out of it? You know, what gets you out of all of those toxic thoughts, and just to continue pursuing and continue working hard in order to continue, you know, with your whole projects here.
Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out too. I think it's so important to remember that we are all human, and no matter who you are, you know, the most famous person in the world or someone who's not yet known, we all struggle with the thoughts, negative self-talk, right? Of I'm not good enough today, I'm not doing enough, no one's going to hear me, see me, appreciate this, whatever have you. So I think what motivates me is a combination of the people I surround myself with, because I think it would be a lot harder to believe in myself if I didn't also have someone like my grandmother and my husband there to say, keep going, you're doing great, you're doing amazing, friends as well. And I think too, personal practice is really important. So whether that's, for me, it's walking in nature or meditating or doing a lot of journaling, making sure that I'm staying clear in my purpose, my mission on a daily basis, almost like a vision board, right? I make those as well. So if I can see and rewrite and rehear and retell myself every single day what my goals for that day are, what my goals for that week are, for the next 3 months, and for the next 5 years. And I do that every day. It keeps it fresh and it keeps me motivated. And then as I accomplish these things, this third factor and the last one, it instills in me and reminds me that I can be resilient and I can accomplish all of this because I'm doing it. So what better proof, right, than to prove it to yourself?
I love it. I love it. I love it. It is really cool. And as I mentioned before, I mean, the fact that you are working in order to to share this positive message, in order to support those who are in need, and especially kids, that is really amazing. I mean, as we were talking before, I mean, the fact that at the end of the day, kids don't choose. Kids don't choose where to born, or which country they can come from, or which language, culture, whatever. So the fact that you want to support them and to kind of get them out of all of this toxic environment that some have, that is really cool. That is amazing, and I really wish that I really wish, and I'm pretty sure that is gonna happen, that all of your hard work here is gonna be basically shown everybody, shown worldwide, basically. That is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, that's as long as, I think too, right at the end of the day, if a few people have been touched or had an aha moment, or one youth has recognized that they have the power within themselves to actually accomplish those goals, then I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as they say, if you can touch one person heart with what you do, you're on the right path. Yeah. So again, thank you so much for having for being here. I mean, it is so amazing and so inspirational. I love it. Keep killing it. Keep doing what you do. As I mentioned, I'm super sure that it's gonna get worldwide. And the fact that what you do, it is so positive and so positive, so warm, so happy. That is really cool. We need definitely more people like you, especially right now in this whole craziness, world lately. But again, thank you so much. Also want to thank those who are watching this right now, or if you're watching this later, that is perfect, or also on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Music. Make sure that you're following this amazing, talented, super person that I'm speaking right now. If you already follow her in all of social media, fantastic. Then what we're gonna do, let's make her trendy right now. Let's make sure everybody knows how awesome and badass she is. And again, thank you so much. Before I send you off, you know what is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So. I love it. And keep killing it, keep being amazing, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.